Hey guys, welcome back to the TK show.
Today we're here to do a movie review. What movie did we watch recently?
Send help.
Send Help. We watched it just yesterday, and it was an incredible movie.
It was.
I think we were both shocked about how well the movie was done. Dylan O'Brien, Rachel McAdams, they all crushed their roles.
They did. Yeah. It was our first
What
movie of 2026, right?
It was the first movie of 2026, but honestly, I think it
My,
was probably the best theater watch that we've had together.
yeah, not to like set the bar high. I can definitely see some people disliking the movie just based off what they like. It's a horror comedy movie, but we found it more psychological actually.
Yeah, I would say it's definitely more like psychological
Yeah.
thriller rather than horror.
Hmm.
But there was definitely like gore as well.
There was
There's
gore, yeah.
definitely some bloody scenes. Disclaimer: if you're planning on watching it, you probably shouldn't watch any further because there's definitely going to be some spoilers in this
Yeah.
one.
If
Um,
if you have just came back from watching the movie, however, join us along as we're gonna discuss about the movie and join us in the comments. We'll definitely be looking into that.
Let us know your thoughts. What was your favorite part? What part did you not like? What you thought about the movie overall? But I guess to
We'll start off. All right.
start off, what would you rank the movie as a whole?
Okay. So I'll rank Send Help a solid 9 out of 10.
Okay, that's a solid ranking.
It's a really good movie. Yeah, I think it's the best one I watched in 2026 so far. Now the year just started, but the movie, it's really well done. Props to the director. The main cast, Rachel McAdams and Dylan O'Brien, they did a fantastic job. And overall, like, it's almost like a new experience for me. Like, I haven't seen a movie done that way in ages. So I was shocked. But how about you, Coupling? How'd you like that?
Um, yeah, I'd rank the movie at 9.5,
9.5.
which is pretty high, of course. I really like the mix between the character development at the start of the first half
Mm.
and then the transition into like the story and the plot line.
Yeah.
Usually, movies typically have too much character development and lack like a plot line,
Yeah.
or they have too much plot and the characters don't really have a background. So I feel like in this movie they did really well, kind of developing each character before the main incident
Mm.
happened. We kind of had like a concept of each character, what their flaws were, what their pros were,
Exactly.
and then as the movie unraveled, we learned more about each character, but the story kind of the plot thickened.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, let's move into what was your favorite scene, and this is one of the spoilers, guys. So, what was your favorite scene in the entire movie?
The specific scene where Rachel McAdams is about to kill Dylan O'Brien with the golf stick, and it transitions to her actually golfing the next year. I really
Okay.
like that transition overall. That's the transition from the story. We were a bit confused at first, but then we quickly realized about how like she built her life after, making it seem as a tragedy when in the story is how she is the
Currently.
antagonist and how she in the end she ultimately wins and she uses it as a way to get into fame, get become a celebrity overall. I really like that overall.
But the focus on that last scene being the golf shot, of course, Dylan O'Brien loves golfing. And while they're on that plane earlier on in the movie, they actually talk about, Dylan O'Brien talks about with his friends, about going to this golf course.
I didn't even notice that.
So the ending scene just being her there experiencing it and not Dylan O'Brien is crazy. But my favorite scene was a little jump scare. It was when
Oh yeah.
she actually goes and she has like a traumatic experience and a
Yeah.
flashback of Dylan Bryan's wife
Yeah.
coming back to life. And when she goes and she swings, it goes away. It's a hallucination.
Yeah.
But then that jump scare right there, it's like
Caught
it
us
made
all
me
off guard.
startle. I was like, "What's going on?" I said that was like very well
It
shot
was very
because
well shot.
I think everyone, of course, was expecting like, okay, it's a hallucination.
Hmm.
And once that shot was done, I was like, okay, the scene's kind of like done.
Yeah.
And then instantly, it's like
I know.
right there. So that made me startled, and I didn't expect it. It was very well shot.
I think I was leaning in to comment about something during the movie. I didn't anticipate it, so I was leaning. I was like, "Whoa!"
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely well shot overall. But in terms of horrorness, that makes sense. Wasn't necessarily like a scary movie in my opinion. Like, I mean, a jump scare was fantastic, but other than
I
that,
can see why it's under the genre for sure.
yeah, yeah,
but I agree. I don't think it was like scary in the concept of like you're concerned about the next jump up or
Exactly.
pop up. It's more like the concept behind it
Mm.
is definitely more horror, psychological thriller. It's definitely comedic too. The touches of comedy throughout the movie
Oh
makes
yeah.
it less, and it makes it like more at ease. It's
It
not like
was. It was.
you're
Yeah.
you're not like kind of watching the entire movie stiff and kind of
Exactly.
wondering what the next jump up is going to be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think overall the character development, the story, the plot, I think everything was incredibly done.
It was a lot of good plot twists that we did not anticipate, especially her build up to how we realize that she has an obsession over Dylan O'Brien. I realized afterwards that there's so much hints
Throughout.
throughout the movie, and yet we only caught on at the end. So like, truly a fantastic job. Like I really like that.
One thing that really threw me off, and I don't know what you thought about it, was the X, the rocks that made the X.
Yeah.
Of course, everyone had their own theories throughout the movie. My theory was that either Dylan O'Brien at middle of the movie, I thought he was actually kind of like making his own raft, getting ready to like
Yeah.
leave the island, or she had some sort of survival tactics there, and that's where she was getting her fruits and X, Y, and Z, which was slightly true. But the last thing I expected there to be was a full house
Oh my God.
with
Yeah.
everything already established, and that's where she was getting her fruits from, and that's where she got the knife from.
Oh my God.
It's
Yeah.
it's funny because of course like her having a knife is like the most extreme thing.
Yeah.
But the movie was so well done where you actually just kind of fall for it and you just
Exactly.
like you don't overthink it, you just go with the flow. And then at the end every single detail just adds up and makes sense.
So like I remember when we saw the house, like our faces dropped. Like that's how insane it was. They did a really good job because we genuinely thought that she was stranded. They showed the clip of her actually auditioning for Survivor.
Yeah.
So we just thought that she was
Really
utilizing
good,
those
yeah.
skills, and so obviously helping her and what was his name? David O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien. Dylan O'Brien.
Movie his name is Bradley in the movie.
Bradley, yeah. So how she helps Dylan O'Brien throughout the movie, when in reality it's actually her with this house and how she's getting fruits from the house, hacked into the security system, which ultimately culminated in that final fight scene between her and Dylan O'Brien. So I really liked that. It was a really great job.
Yeah, and I think what was interesting was like just the sequence of events. Like they really kind of built early on in the movie. They really built that she's really passionate about the Survivor show.
Yeah.
She's watching the show at home. They do a little clip while they're on the flight or on the plane,
Yeah.
and the other lads are actually just watching her Survivor edition. So they really build on this character that, like, you know, she's just a great person in the wild,
exactly.
and that's why everything becomes believable. The fact that she has a knife, the fact that
Yeah.
she's able to get fruits throughout, and then just the end just makes it like, wow, okay, this
Wow,
is
yeah.
realistic. This is how she actually got
Exactly,
everything.
yeah.
So that was my like wow factor, because with a lot of movies nowadays, you could kind of like assume where the plot's going or where the
exactly.
storyline is going. But this one had a lot of like twists and turns and so
Exactly.
many minor details where you don't notice it in the moment,
Mm.
but at the end of the movie, everything kind of just adds up together.
Exactly.
The gullible concept, like that was a character trait. Even that they even explained really, really well.
Yeah.
Where she's only gullible because she didn't have someone
Yeah.
who loved her, right? So every time Bradley or Dylan O'Brien showed some concept of love to her, she was just very like sweet to it and very
Exactly.
acknowledging. So it wasn't really like, it is gullible, of course, as a viewer, but as a character for herself, it's just like she wants to be loved.
Exactly.
And Dylan O'Brien, Riley, did a really good job kind of just leaning into that, poking into that whenever he needed to survive. Okay, of course, we kind of hyped up the movie, and we loved the movie.
Yeah.
But what were some like flaws or things that you didn't like in the movie?
Wow, flaws. Okay.
I'm happy to start if you want to
You
think
can
about
start,
this one.
Yeah.
One thing that didn't make sense to me, and I get it, it was a movie with lots of details, a very fast-paced movie. But for example, when Dylan O'Brien came back, made her dinner, had a completely fresh fit on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
New shirt, new outfit. They're on an island, no clothes whatsoever. Similarly, like when she killed the wild boar, she's all bloody. The next cutscene, she's like completely new fit.
Exactly, yeah.
So just the costumes, that didn't make sense to me. But that was one of the flaws that I kind of noticed, which was very minor, of course, but a small detail that I noticed.
the private mansion where she ends up killing Dylan O'Brien. How like does she clean up the body and then decides to build a raft and go like doesn't when the billionaire return and see that there's something that happened in his house? How does she like
Getting caught.
avoid getting caught? Hide that in general. Like what happened with that? That's something that
I mean, that's a great point. I think, of course, like with just how long the movie was, they just
Yeah.
were trying to wrap it up. But I think to that point that you just mentioned, like there could have been slightly more details to how she got off the island, what she did with the body. I know they kind of mentioned at a high level that she hacked the security system, and that's why the billionaire never noticed. But like, how did she go about doing that while Bradley was on the island at the camp? So some just minor details that they could have added just to really build on that finale or the ending. But overall, I think it was really well done.
Yeah, same. The movie is kind of doing poor in the box office, so
Oh, is it?
I'm a vouch for them and say go out and watch it. I think you guys might
Interesting.
like
Okay,
it.
I'm gonna actually pull it up.
But yeah, if you don't like gore, then I don't think this movie's for you. Yeah.
Okay, so the budget was roughly 40 million for this movie.
Yeah.
Now let's see worldwide box office collection. Okay, so you're not wrong. It's currently 53.7 million globally.
Oh.
So it's not. It hasn't flopped.
I thought I saw it at 37 million. That's why.
It could have been like on Friday or
Alright, maybe
Saturday, but it's at 53.7 million. Ultimately, guys, we would say Send Help needs no help.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic movie. Definitely check it out. But as Darnice mentioned earlier, if you're not into gore, psychological thriller, horror, you might not want to watch this movie. But overall, really well done. Both actors crushed their roles. And I think that's a wrap.
That's a wrap. The movie was a hit. All right, guys.
All right, guys. Stay tuned for the next episode of
The TK Show.
Take care.